So last week I talked about painting happening in phases, and we're on phase one for my acrylic people, well, and for my watercolor people technically, in doing our underpainting. So what I should do is I should finish. All I have left are the leaves on my strawberries, and then that little bit of table in between my paper towel and my mug that I have there. Otherwise, I try to get everything kind of differentiated with my underpainting, and you don't have to worry about your underpainting actually looking very good because you're going to cover it up anyway. Okay, so phase one is just to finish your underpainting. Okay, phase two is to just start color mixing and blocking your colors out. Now again, until I turn the overhead lights on, it'll be kind of difficult for you guys to see color-wise. Mackenzie asked a good question and asking, do we need every color? Not necessarily, but I went ahead and set myself up with all my colors. The only thing I need to do is mix orange. And I also gave myself white, black, and then a little bit of that yellow ochre and that raw umber. Here's my paint palette as so, okay? Again, you don't have to do that. And the reason why I went ahead and did it is because I still had a lot of paint left over from the color wheel and I didn't want to waste it. So that's what I'm going to be using it from today, okay? So your paint palette here is really just for paint storage, and then the freezer paper, that's where you should be mixing your paint, all right? So what you should do, again, is kind of figure out your background colors and put your backgrounds in first and then move forward. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be looking at color mixing wise and trying to figure out what are my colors of here in my background and then my paper towel and so on and so forth. So I might be trying this paper towel out here first because I think it was really close. I got some pretty close colors with my yellow ochre and raw umber on that one. So I'll just be doing a little bit of this via demo and then just letting you guys go for it, okay? All right. Always make sure too that when you're mixing your paints that you're using that palette knife that I gave you. Don't mix with your brushes because it wastes a lot of paint. Okay, so for the paper towel, I think the combo that I found as I was kind of working through my underpainting is going to be this yellow ochre. I'm going to pull that. And then I want to clean my palette knife off. And guys, those palette knives, like the jars of paint that are in the drawer, I put paper towels in there so you could just grab a paper towel and clean off the palette knife. Some of you were getting lazy and there was dried white paint all over one of the palette knives. And that kind of made me a little grumpy. So please clean off your items. Okay, so I've got yellow ochre, I've got the raw umber, and then I'm going to pull some white, and then notice that I'm keeping them separate on my palette paper so that I can keep pulling from them if I need to without contaminating, okay? So you've got to go through and figure out, like, background-wise, what color should you start with. Really, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you start. You can start wherever you want, but background is a lot easier to start with. Okay, so now I'm going to try to just start mixing kind of based on what I see and what I know. So I'm going to use, and the bad trick of this is if you only mix up a little bit at a time, then you have to kind of keep remixing it. But then the bummer part of that too is if you mix too much and it's the wrong color, then you're gonna have a bummer time also. Okay, so what I'm going for as far as my paper towels go is kind of like a golden brown color, but then it's kind of a tint. I need to bring it down some. So I'm going to be using the white. And I might have got this a little too brown. This is where you can use that viewfinder. I'll probably use it myself and I'll show you how I want you to use that viewfinder. Okay, so I'm going to set this color off to the side. I think it's a little too dark. So I'm going to grab some more of that yellow ochre off of my palette here, and then bring this color that I already mixed into what I already have. That looks better. Okay. Now I'm going to grab some of my white and bring that in to kind of start tinting it out. Okay, so if you guys are kind of noticing how long it's taking for me to just mix up one color from observation, that's kind of how painting works. Okay, so that's why I'm taking my time. Now let me show you what I want you to do with those viewfinders that Mackenzie made for us. Okay, you have two different options in this viewfinder. You have a large view and you have a small view. So you can use either to try and match your color. So what I'm doing here is I need to, let's say my largest part of my paper towels over here. Well, I can kind of seclude that color like this or like this if you have like a smaller area. And then you can grab whatever color you're working with and you can start to kind of compare. Okay, so what I've got going on here, and let me try to light that up really good. Okay, so you guys can see, like, I thought that I was doing pretty good, but my color that I mixed up is way more yellow than this paper towel. And it's not tinted out enough. So that's telling me that I need to get some more brown in there and I need to get some more white in there. You don't have to put paint down on your viewfinder if you don't want. You can just hold it up. But for the sake of this camera, because the lighting's really bad, I wanted to show you guys the side-by-side on it. Okay, so I've got way too much yellow, so I maybe shouldn't have done what I did by adding more yellow ochre to it, and then I know I need more white, so I need to go whiter, and I need more brown. So now I'm going to try that. So I'm going to pull from my original that I had mixed up here. And it looks like I'm going to need quite a bit of white. I'm going to just kind of keep mixing that up. Okay, so I kind of went the browner side and I added more white. So now I'm going to use my viewfinder again. Can go ahead and cover up that little swatch that I already had. So I put that on there. Now I've got my picture here. And let me focus in. So now I'm getting kind of closer. I think I still need more white and I still need more brown. So I'm going to clean off my palette knife. I'm going to add brown to this. Hopefully that wasn't too much. And then I'm going to grab quite a bit more white. You guys, this is kind of how color mixing goes. It's just trial and error. Okay, so you guys can kind of see the differences in my colors now. Okay, and now I'm going to do another check. So I've got this new color made up. I'm going to go ahead and put it over what I've done on my viewfinder here. Then I'm going to grab my picture. I'm going to take a look. Okay, kind of getting there. I might add a little bit of regular yellow to it. And some more white. So now I'm just kind of trying to judge like what color is inherently or underneath there. Might be a little orange in it. So I might need to do a little bit of yellow. And a little bit of red. So just a little bit of red to start with, a little more yellow. Okay, do a little more each of those. Bless you. Okay, I'm gonna do more yellow and red. So I know this is taking a long time via demonstration, but I hope this is kind of giving you guys an idea of what it's like to mix colors from observation. Okay, it's gonna take you a while to figure out. And that's okay. I don't think anyone can ever really mix the right color at the very beginning. Okay, so I've ended up adding quite a bit of yellow to this, but I'm gonna check now and see kind of where it's at. Scoop it up and just stick it in a pile here. See if I've gotten any closer. Looks a lot better. Okay, I'm getting there. So I think like color-wise, it's pretty darn close, getting pretty close, but I just need to tint it out more. Okay, Okay, so I think I'm kind of going in the right direction of the right base, but I just need more white. So I'm going to scoop up this white, and then instead of putting this in the color that I've mixed, so I don't have very much white left, I'm going to do it the opposite way, where I put white down and then I put some of this color in the white. Got a little bit more over here. Okay, so you guys can kind of see like the color that I mixed from and then the tint of it right here. Okay, now let me check that. I'm gonna start a new little splotch here, maybe on the other side. And there we go. That's pretty close. Guys see it? Okay, so how long did that just take me to mix up? Between 5 to 10 minutes, probably closer to 10 minutes to make up one color. Okay. So that's gonna be your most important thing that you've got going on for painting, is to make sure that you are matching your colors correctly. Use this viewfinder to help you. Okay, so I've got a color that's pretty darn close. I don't have very much of it, but I've figured out like how to mix it up. And I used yellow ochre with the brown white, and then I kind of added some yellow and red to orange it out a little bit, and then I ended up adding more just regular yellow in there. And then I tinted it out. Okay, so let me kind of move my stuff around here. Okay, so I'm kind of looking for in this area where that paper towel is. Okay, so for phase 2, all you're doing, and you want to be nice and neat, a nice and neat painter for this one, all you're doing is blocking things out. Okay, so you do not want to water your paint down for this. So you need to make sure that your paintbrush is nice and dry. If you're having trouble with brushability, like you're seeing a lot of canvas through it, you either have one, that it's too thin with water, or that it's too thick and it's not usable. It's like brushability is really low. So then that means that you have to use that gel medium to make your brushability a lot higher. Your brushability percentage, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so here what I'm doing is I'm being very careful because I want to keep those lines that I kind of put in via my underpainting. I want a nice, solid coating. And I'm not worrying about any highlighting or any values just yet. All I'm doing is just trying to get nice base value, okay? So right now that looks really, really, really light comparative to everything else, and that's okay, it's supposed to. Now, if you go into one of your objects, that's okay. You can paint over it, which is why you do your background first, and then you work on this. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna go through, use this base color for my background, and go through all my spaces on here, or everywhere that this shows up. And again, I'm not worrying about any highlights or any shadows just yet. Okay, and I'm also painting off on the sides of my canvas as well. Make sure you're doing that. Okay. So just for demonstration and time's sake, I'm going to keep working on this, but I'm going to turn the lights on. And I'm going to work through like mixing my colors up, okay? So basically your phase 1 is to sketch and then get your underpainting down. Phase 2 is to just block out your color. Phase 3 is blending and starting to add your shadows and highlights. And then 4 is getting your details in there. And then your painting should be pretty much completed. Okay? All right, so like I said, I'm gonna keep working on this, but I'm going to turn the lights on, and I'm going to end the video. And then you'll guys see where I'm at kind of by tomorrow, see how far I've gotten. So we should be in phase 2 for a couple days here. All right.